It's no secret that Toto Wolff and Mercedes have their eyes set on Max Verstappen, and now it looks like things are heating up. Reports suggest that Verstappen's contract is all set and ready to go, and if the rumors are true, he'll be raking in even more cash than Lewis Hamilton himself. With Germany's auto, motor and sport spilling the beans, it's clear that big things are in the works for Formula One's hottest prospect. So let's dive into the Thai video to know more about this blockbuster deal of Verstappen's potential move to Mercedes and what it means for the future of F1 racing. Max Verstappen, who drives for Red Bull in races, is getting ready for the next big race in China, which starts on April 21st. People think he will probably win again because he won the last race in Japan. Before the race, many people are talking about something interesting. They think Max might leave Red Bull and join Mercedes, another racing team. Max has a contract with Red Bull until 2028, but some news says he might change to Mercedes soon. One reason for this is that there's an empty seat in the Mercedes team for 2025. Lewis Hamilton, who drives for Mercedes, is going to drive for Ferrari next year. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has said he really wants Max to join their team. He said he would love it if Max became the new driver for Mercedes, replacing Lewis Hamilton, who has won the championship 7 times. Automotor and Sport, a magazine about cars and racing, says that Mercedes has decided to offer Max Verstappen a contract. This contract would pay Max more money than Lewis Hamilton, even when including bonuses. The report also guesses that Max is okay with staying at Red Bull as long as things stay the same. But if the people in charge at Red Bull change, Max might want to leave. Helmut Marko, who works for Red Bull, is an important person in this situation. At the start of the season, Marko hinted that he might leave, but he changed his mind later. This happened during a time when Red Bull was having some problems off the racetrack, but those problems have calmed down now. Mercedes have already approved Verstappen's salary. Toto Wolff, the boss of the Mercedes racing team, has said that he is ready to be patient with Max Verstappen. If Max decides to join Mercedes, his contract will be prepared and waiting for him, as reported by Amos. They say that Mercedes has already agreed to pay Max more than Lewis Hamilton, who drives for them and is a 3-time world champion. This year, the rumors and discussions about who will drive for which team in Formula One started very early. The big news was Lewis Hamilton's decision to leave Mercedes and join Ferrari in 2025. This surprised many people because Mercedes has been very successful with Hamilton. But now there's an open spot in Mercedes, one of the best teams in Formula One. This change also affects Carlos Sainz, who is a very good driver but now doesn't have a team to drive for. The possibility of Max Verstappen joining Mercedes has suddenly become more open because of the problems happening at Red Bull Racing and with their team boss Christian Horner. However, Max has said he doesn't see a reason to leave Red Bull as long as important people like Helmut Marko remain. But Toto Wolff, the boss of Mercedes, knows that Max will want to drive for the team that has the best car. Right now, that's Red Bull. Max has already won 3 out of 4 races this year for Red Bull, while Mercedes hasn't even reached the podium yet. So, even though there's a chance for Max to join Mercedes, he might still choose to stay with Red Bull because they have a better car right now. It's a tough decision for Max because he wants to win races, and right now, Red Bull is helping him do that. Automotor and Sport say that if Max Verstappen is going to think about switching to Mercedes, he wants to see proof that they can win races again. Mercedes has struggled at the start of this season, which was disappointing for them. They were hoping their new car, the W15, would help them compete for the championship again. At the Japanese Grand Prix, they tried some new things with the car but only finished in 7th and 9th place. Mercedes needs to make big improvements to show Max that they can be a good choice for him in the future. The competition to improve cars in Formula One this year hasn't started yet, but Mercedes has time to work on their car because they're not in a hurry for Max to decide. So Mercedes has to prove to Max that they can win races again if they want him to join their team. They have some time to improve their car before they need Max's answer. Verstappen about moving to Mercedes. Even though Max Verstappen has a contract with Red Bull until 2028, during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend, he hinted that if Helmut Marko, who advises on motorsport, left the team, he might reconsider his own future. Before winning his 56th race, Verstappen talked about the rumors of him possibly moving to Mercedes. Toto Wolff, the boss of Mercedes, thinks that Max just wants to drive the fastest car. Max said to the media, including Racing News 365, "Well, you know, the thing is that no one would have ever realized or seen that Lewis would have moved to Ferrari." This means that Max understands that surprising things can happen in Formula One, like Lewis Hamilton deciding to join Ferrari. He says, "In my life, and it doesn't matter that it is not related to F1, just general life, you never know what will happen or what comes to you, whatever happens around you or what might influence you. So you can never say 100% that that is how it is going to be, and I won't go to Mercedes in the future. I approach my life like that, but I also don't think about it too much. I am very relaxed and happy at the team, and happier that the performance is there." Remark by former F1 driver. Further, according to former Red Bull Formula One driver Robert Doornbos, Max Verstappen is already in discussions with Mercedes. This comes as Mercedes prepares to say goodbye to Lewis Hamilton, who will be joining Ferrari starting in 2025. Doornbos suggested that Verstappen, who has been consistently winning races since 2021, is particularly interested in the power units that Mercedes will use in 2026. This is significant because it's the season when major changes to the power unit regulations will be introduced. Speaking to Ziggo Sport, Doornbos said, "I have heard from my reliable sources that Max is already talking with Mercedes just to get a feel for what the future might hold. One of the key topics of discussion would undoubtedly be what Mercedes plans to do with their engines." This revelation implies that Verstappen is not only considering his immediate future, but is also looking ahead to the long term. By discussing the power unit plans for 2026, he's assessing the potential competitiveness of Mercedes beyond the current season. This strategic move indicates Verstappen's meticulous approach to his career decisions, ensuring he aligns himself with a team that can offer him the best chances of success in the ever-evolving landscape of Formula One. He also added, "Verstappen already has insights into the plans of Ford and Red Bull for 2026. That year is pivotal. It's hard to grasp, but something is brewing behind the scenes." This suggests that Verstappen is well informed about the future plans of both Ford and Red Bull, particularly regarding their power units for the crucial 2026 season. It's worth noting that Red Bull is developing its power units in-house in partnership with Ford, and these units are set to debut in 2026. In contrast, Mercedes boasts extensive experience in building championship-winning engines. They made an early transition to hybrid power units about a decade ago and have since been a dominant force in Formula One. With the impending regulation changes expected to shake up the Formula One grid in the upcoming years, many teams are proactively preparing their engines for the challenges ahead. Recognizing the significance of staying ahead in the competitive landscape, Verstappen is taking a cautious approach to maintain his dominance. Therefore, the 26-year-old meticulously observes his rivals and carefully considers his options. Doornbos, a fellow Dutchman, remarked, "Verstappen is already well aware of the plans in place for 2026 at both Ford and Red Bull. That particular year holds immense importance. While it may be difficult to envision, significant developments are undoubtedly occurring behind closed doors." As the anticipation builds for the forthcoming changes, including those in engine regulations, Doornbos suggests that April will be an eventful month in the world of Formula One. So what do you think of the new contract by Mercedes for Verstappen? Comment below and subscribe for more.